Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are listening to today's pre-recorded on-demand webinar featuring Round Trip Rail Vacations on behalf of Amtrak Vacations. Folks, my name is Jim Marini, and I will proudly be your host here today. Today's pre-recorded on-demand webinar is scheduled to be about 25 minutes, give or take, so I hope you could join us all of the way through. And with that in mind, folks, let's get started. Now, for those of you who may not be as familiar with Amtrak Vacations, we are part of the Yankee Leisure Group family of brands. And if you look on the left-hand side, yes, that is our Amtrak Vacations brochure. This is all of our 3, 4, 5-day weekend, week-long getaway trips, including some of these fantastic round-trip rail vacations. We even have trips that go across the country, if that is on your wish list, including some of the beautiful national parks. Now, if you look on the right-hand side, that is our sister brand, Rail Bookers. This is all of our Canadian, European, worldwide rail vacations. And believe it or not, folks, even including Alaska by rail. So if Alaska is on your wish list, that is also offered through our sister brand Rail Bookers. And some of you might be wondering, well, why is Alaska offered through Rail Bookers and not Amtrak Vacations? It's actually very simple. Amtrak Vacations is all of our lower 48, all of our continental USA rail vacations on board the Amtrak trains, whereas Alaska is on board the train known as Alaska Railroad. Now, here's the best part, folks. Any of you or your friends and family, if you want to visit each other, if you have family and friends in other parts of the country, or you want to just get out of your house and have something to look forward to, did you know you can literally travel from today? Yes, today, whenever you are listening and viewing today's on-demand pre-recorded webinar, you can literally leave today or plan your trip today to travel in 2022 or even all the way until 2023. Now, there's so many reasons why travelers love traveling with Amtrak Vacations. If you look at the top left-hand corner, when you or your local travel advisor, however you book your trip, reach out to us, you or they are speaking to one of our rail experts live on the phone who knows the rail, the best routes, the best times to ensure you have the best vacation possible. As I mentioned, you can book and travel anytime from today all the way until 2023. Now, we do have our maximum flexibility offer going on right now, which I'll tell you more about in just a little bit. We also have the largest rail vacation selection, not only here in the United States, of independent FIT, flexible independent travel, but also around the world between Amtrak Vacations and our sister brand, Rail Bookers. And folks, no rail trip is too complicated for us. Did you know you can customize or personalize any trip you would like from start to finish? And that's the beauty with Amtrak Vacations. We have so many options available. So if you look in the top left-hand corner, if you want to add on any destination, maybe you want to visit friends and family in another part of the country and then tie in a little vacation before or after your trip, we can certainly help you do that, as well as your travel advisor. You can add any extra nights. You can take a trip round trip, which is the highlight and focus of today. You can upgrade your rail ticket to either business class. You can upgrade to a private sleeper, which we'll talk about a little later. You can even add sightseeing tours or private tours if you would like. Now, many reasons to book now. Certainly, one of the biggest is if you maybe have not had the opportunity to travel, see family, friends, loved ones, or even just to travel on a great little vacation, whether it's a getaway trip or a trip of a lifetime. Well, do you know when you book with a small deposit of only around $250 per person, we have what we call our maximum flexibility offer going on right now, all the way until January 4th. Now, guess what, folks? It's not 2021. We've extended it, yes, until 2022. We've extended it this entire year until January 4th of 2022. And what that means is once you deposit on your trip anytime from now until January 4th of next year, if you did need to change or postpone your trip, whatever the reason is, we are waiving any and all change and cancellation fees, basically allowing each and every one of you to enjoy the freedom to change your dates, duration, or even the destination of your vacation. Now, one thing I wanted to point out, when you travel on board the train, do you know you're allowed 2 free carry-on bags per person, 2 free pieces of checked luggage, up to 50 pounds per luggage, 50, up to 50 pounds per luggage. 2 are allowed per person, and luggage can be checked in as close in as 45 minutes prior to departure. Now, where can you travel to by train? Really, the question should be, where can you not travel to by train? And the reason is there's over 500 different Amtrak train stations throughout the United States that you can start or end your trip at. Amtrak actually travels to 46 out of the 48 states within the continental USA. And believe it or not, just recently, in the last couple years, over 33 million people traveled on board Amtrak. So if Amtrak was an airline, it would actually be the sixth largest airline in all of the United States. All right, let's move into some of these exciting round trip rail vacations, starting out with one of my personal favorite cities, San Antonio. Yes, which this package happens to be round trip from New Orleans. So you actually can have an opportunity to see not one, but two fantastic cities in one trip. Now, what you're looking at right here is the iconic and famous Riverwalk, lined with shops and restaurants. They have a dual piano bar. There's some great nightlife and different restaurants and great music. Just absolutely fantastic. You can take boat rides up and down the Riverwalk. And as I mentioned, this trip also includes New Orleans, otherwise known as New Orleans. All right. If you like Cajun style cuisine, if you like French and Spanish style cuisine, as well as architecture, it's all in one city. And what I always say is, how about a little jazz, blues, and rock and roll? Well, you can certainly experience that on Bourbon Street, right there in the heart of the French Quarter. Maybe even experience Cafe Du Monde, known for its beignets, which is fried dough with sugar and even a little cinnamon, as well as even a cafe latte. Just an awesome package, everyone. 4 days, 3 nights, round trip, San Antonio from New Orleans, starting at $749 per person. By the way, all the pricing that you see in today's presentation, they are based in double occupancy, so per person, 2 to a room. But we do have single rates, solo rates available for any of you that are traveling on your own. Now, as we continue with some of these fantastic round trip rail vacations, how about our Northern Rail experience? Now, this one happens to be round trip from Washington, D.C. Yes, our nation's capital. All right, here we have a picture in the winter season, which I am proud to say I have been in, with so many different monuments and statues and so many iconic areas all illuminated. Just an awesome city. But maybe some of you want to travel during the cherry blossom in the springtime or in the summer with your children or grandchildren. I'll tell you one thing's for sure. We're seeing so many folks that are traveling and planning to travel with their children and grandchildren, their extended family and friends to make up for lost time. Now, this trip's also special because it also visits Seattle, home of the Space Needle, right? Home of the first Starbucks that ever opened up back in 1971, located in Pike's Marketplace, which is where they throw the large fish above the tourist heads. Just an awesome city. Speaking of awesome, how about San Francisco, home of the Golden Gate Bridge, known as the City by the Bay, where to me, weather is some of the best in all of the United States, typically in the 60s on an average with very little to no humidity. So keep this package in mind, folks. Northern Rail experience, round trip from Washington, D.C. And I'll mention one other point. If you look at the map on the right-hand side, folks, all the red lines represent the different trains that you get to travel on in one package. But if you look at the triangles, the red triangles, and you see a number 1 or a number 2, that just lets you know how many nights that you are overnighting on board the train. So if you want to experience more of what life is like on board the train, then consider any of our Northern Rail, or better yet, any of our rail experiences. And speaking of rail experiences, here's another version. This one happens to be our Grand Rail experience, which happens to be round trip from Los Angeles, home of Hollywood, home of Beverly Hills, my old stomping grounds. Yes, I'm proud to say I lived in Southern California for almost 8 years, and weather here in the 70s on an average, very little to no humidity, palm trees, just an awesome, awesome city. Now, we already talked about New Orleans, right? Do you know some of the most famous chefs actually got their start here, or certainly spent time in New Orleans as well? Just an awesome blend of different spices from jambalaya, right, to different types of coffee and pastries. All right, Emeril Lagasse, by the way, when we talk about some of the famous chefs, certainly made his name here in New Orleans. Now, again, this one happens to include our nation's capital, where a suggestion I have for all of you, consider to include what's known as Monuments to Moonlight. This is an optional tour that you can take advantage of in the evening, where you get a chance to see all of the famous sites illuminated in the evening. Just absolutely breathtaking. And then before you know it, Chicago. Just an awesome city, home of deep dish pizza, home of Chicago's famous Second City Comedy Club, all right, home of the Chicago hot dog, and Wrigley Field. Even if you're not a baseball fan, to see Wrigley Field, one of the iconic baseball stadiums in the United States, it's right here in the great city of Chicago. And again, this trip also includes Seattle. So just keep this package in mind if any of these cities are on your wish list or your bucket list. And here's the best part too, folks. Any of the trips that I'm highlighting here today, any of our round trip rail vacations, any of them can be customized. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Now, for those of you that may have the Rocky Mountains on your wish list, here's a great package. Also round trip from Chicago. And this one happens to travel into the great city of Denver, the Mile High City, which I will say has my personal favorite modern train station of any of the Amtrak train stations. That's right here in Denver. They have their own restaurant, great coffee shop. They even have a hotel located inside of the train station. But what's nearby Denver? Rocky Mountain National Park. And this is a good opportunity to share with all of you all the different types of Amtrak vacation packages and how all of our trips are what we refer to as independent style vacations, flexible independent travel. So what does that mean? You see, folks, unlike a traditional escorted bus tour, a traditional escorted guided tour, where, as an example, every day from 6 to 8 in the morning, it's breakfast. From 8 to 12, it's sightseeing. From 12 to 2, it's lunch. From 2 to 5, it's more sightseeing. From 5 to 7, it's dinner. From 7 p.m. on, there's an evening activity. And that's most days and night on an escorted bus tour. You see, with our trips, everyone, including Rocky Mountain National Park, you will have a local guided tour with a local tour guide. And in some cases, the tours may be a half a day or maybe a full day, but just for that day, because then on another day, you can explore the park on your own. You might have a full day at leisure, or you may want to go to your famous little restaurant that maybe you visited years ago, or visit family or friends in the area. That's the beauty of independent style vacations. It's really the best of both, enough structure, but enough flexibility. And some great prices. Look at this, everyone. 5 days, 4 nights, starting just a little over $1,000 per person. And if you look at the map on the right-hand side, this will serve as an example to any of the trips. The number 2 that you see in Denver just let you know the number of nights you are staying in this great city. And did I mention you also get to choose between a 3, 4, or 5-star hotel, whatever you prefer. How about Niagara Falls? Well, here's a great package that happens to be round trip from New York. So if you do want to visit Niagara Falls, and you can certainly want to visit New York, here's a great option to do that. Let's talk about what life is like on board the train. Did you know when you upgrade to a private sleeper, you have priority separate boarding? So keep that in mind. And before we talk about sleepers, let me just show all of you what it's like on board the train. Even in coach accommodations, lots of leg room. All right, 2 extra large seats on one side, 2 extra large seats on the other. And I'm going to give you a big highlight right here, right now. You ready, folks? There are no middle seats on board the trains. Let me repeat that. There are no middle seats on board the trains. So every seat is a great seat. Now, certainly any of you looking to travel in the near future in 2022 or even into 2023 until further notice, facial coverings and masks would be required on board the train. But as you can see, you have your own outlets that you could charge your iPhone, mobile device, iPad, laptop, plenty of space above the overhead for any carry-on bags. Absolutely a very spacious and comfortable way to travel. But any of you that are wanting or certainly planning to travel overnight. Maybe you have a special anniversary or birthday coming up, or you want to visit family and friends or loved ones that live in another part of the United States and you're traveling overnight on board the train, then definitely keep in mind and certainly consider about upgrading to private sleepers, because there's so many important things and so many great benefits to know, such as when you upgrade to your own private sleeper, you have a dedicated car attendant, plus included toiletries, bottled water, and coffee. You have your own privacy door. And by the way, the doors can lock from the inside. And once that door is closed, everyone, and those curtains are closed, if you want to take off your facial covering or mask, you absolutely have the option to do that if you choose. It's as if you are in your own private hotel room on board the train. So if that is of interest to all of you, again, once that door is closed and those curtains are closed, you are in your own private setting. Now, did I mention when you upgrade to a private sleeper, all of your meals are included? Yes, folks, all of your meals are included from the city you depart from until the city you arrive in. That's a big highlight. And on so many of the trains, you can order hot, fresh items right from the menu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they now can be delivered right to your own private sleeper if you prefer to dine and eat inside of your own private area. Now, what you're looking at right here, this is the most popular and the most affordable sleeping category of any sleepers on board the train. This is a roomette. And as you can see in the diagram, it's a bunk bed style um, uh, setup. All right. You can certainly listen to some music, read a book, enjoy the sight scenery sounds along your journey. All right, very spacious. Let me show you a larger diagram of what it looks like. Now, what you'll notice is not included in a roomette is its own private toilet and shower. But if you look on the left-hand side of your screen, folks, as you can see, we have what we call a private restroom access, private shower access. And all that means is right down the hall, just like you'd have at your own homes, we have what we call private yet shared toilets and showers. And the only people that can use them are only people that are booked in private sleepers. But again, just remember, roomette is our most popular and our most affordable sleeping category of any sleepers on board the train. Now, you know yourselves the best. If you want your own private toilet, shower, and vanity inside of your room, then definitely consider to upgrade to a bedroom. And as you'll see in the next picture, it is larger in size, okay? It is larger in size. Let me show you a diagram of what it looks like. And similar to a roomette, it is bunk bed style, as you can see, but it does have its own in-room restroom and its own in-room shower. By the way, the lower bunk bed is actually 1.5 times as wide as the top bunk bed. So actually, you could even fit a small child in the lower bunk bed. Now, what I will share with you is on some of our overnight trains, not all of them, but some of our overnight trains, you can even request to have what we call adjoining bedrooms. So 2 bedrooms side by side where you can open up the door in the middle and your family and friends can go back and forth between the 2 rooms. That's what my family and I did, because my wife and I, we have 3 children. So we actually got 2 bedrooms on a recent trip we did that were adjoining bedrooms. We opened up the door in the middle and the kids were going back and forth. Everyone had such a great time. Now, I will mention we also have accessible bedrooms. So if any of you need an accessible bedroom, just let us or let your local travel advisor know, and he or she will take care of that for you. We also have what we call everyday discounts. So for any of you that are traveling with your children or grandchildren, if they're between the ages of 2 and 12, yes, folks, on the left-hand side, they can qualify for up to 50% off on the rail portion of the package. What's the rail portion? Whatever the cost of the ticket is, based in coach seating, they can qualify up to 50% off. Now, any of you that are 65 or older or any active duty military, first and foremost, thank you for your service. Do you know you, your spouses, dependents, if you're military, or if any of you are over 65, you can qualify for up to 10% off on the rail portion of a package as well. Again, also based in coach seating, but that is what we call our everyday discounts. Folks, as I mentioned right at the beginning of today's presentation, if you want to visit family, friends, loved ones that maybe you haven't seen in a while, if you want to travel with family, friends, or loved ones, if you have a special anniversary coming up, a special birthday, maybe you were planning to travel internationally originally and now you want to stay closer to home and travel domestically, then consider the round trip rail vacations where you never have to set foot on an airplane, you never have to set foot on a gas pedal, and there's over 500 Amtrak train stations that you can start or end your rail vacation at. And again, any of our trips can be customized. Folks, if you have questions or you are ready to plan and look forward to your rail vacation of a lifetime, maybe it's a trip on your bucket list, pick up that phone. That number is listed in the bottom left-hand corner, 1-800-268-7252. Again, it's 1-800-268-7252. We are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can certainly visit us online, or as I mentioned, you can also book any of these exciting trips through your local travel advisor. And maybe you may even want to fly to a destination and do a round trip package and fly back home. Well, folks, your travel advisor can book any of these packages, even including flights for each and every one of you. So on behalf of Amtrak Vacations and our sister brand Rail Bookers, which again offers Canada, Europe, worldwide rail vacations, even including Alaska by rail, thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate all of you taking the time, listening and viewing today's on-demand, pre-recorded webinar. And I wish all of you a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, whenever and wherever you are listening and viewing today's pre-recorded on-demand webinar. Thanks so much, everyone. We look forward to having you, your friends, and family on board soon. Take care.